Hi, this is Mark Marshall with Anatomy of Tone. I wanted to talk about one of the ways that I like to use an app called NoteTutor, which is available both for the iPhone and Google phones. It was designed to help you get better at learning the notes on the treble, the alto, and the bass clef. Since I've become good at it, and I did use this app when I was trying to just refine my skills at sight reading. Now I'm using it to help work my skills in such areas as harmonization and transposition. I'm going to give you an example here. Now I'm going to show you an image of the app on their website. And this is a really great app. Basically, it shows the notes on the staff, and then you have to guess what it is. And the display could either be in a keyboard or pitches. So what you're going to see is using it in pitches. Here's how I'm using it now. Aside from it just coming up and say it shows a G note, and you have to quiz yourself, like knowing that that's what line a G note is on, say, the treble clef, I'm now seeing a note and then I'm transposing in my head. And so if I'm seeing a G note, I want to think, well, what's a sixth above G? Right? And that is E. And I want to think, what is G the sixth of B? And I might be thinking, why am I starting with a sixth? I chose a sixth because the alto saxophone and the bari saxophone are transposed in a sixth. Now, the bari is actually a 13th, but it is a variant of a sixth, right? So you're going to have to transpose that instrument either up or down, whether you're looking at a saxophone chart and want to read what the actual concert pitches are, or if you need to transpose it to a chart for alto saxophones. Now, some of the other intervals I will also encourage you to get good at is seconds, because the tenor saxophone, soprano saxophone have transpositions of seconds. When you're reading charts and looking at such instruments as the clarinet or the trumpet, then there's transpositions that go on there as well. Plus, learn a third, being able to look in either direction by thirds, chromatic thirds in either way. Fourths are another great one. I left out fifths and sevenths initially because we don't often harmonize in fifths, and sevenths we don't often harmonize with. So I'm starting to think immediately transpositions and options that I might harmonize with building with chords. Now, it's not impossible to build chords on sevenths, or seventh intervals are a really cool sounding interval, but I'm trying to somewhat base this on ways that if I have a line, how might I transpose it, or how might I harmonize it? So I can harmonize, like in jazz, we have chordal harmony, which we're harmonizing or building harmonies from fourths. That's why fourths, although they seem to, if you're not familiar with that type of language, seemed a little odd at first, but that's why I'm also including fourths in this. So I think just do one at a time. We don't want to jump too far forward and do all the intervals at once. So for a couple of weeks, just do six. Sometimes I do this when I'm on the train, or I'm waiting on an elevator, or I'm waiting in line at a store. Or there's a lot of different places where you feel like your time is just being wasted, and so instead of just scrolling social media, you can open the NoteTutor app and feed your brain a little bit and hone in or sharpen your musical skills. I'm going to look at the app now and kind of give you a demonstration of how I'm walking through this. We're looking at the NoteTutor app, and it's displaying an E flat on the treble clef. So now I'm going to think, what is up a sixth from E flat? We're just going to pick major sixth right now. So that would be C. And what is E flat the sixth of? Well, that would be G flat. Now we're looking at a D. So I'm going to think, what is up a sixth and what is D the sixth of? This is C. So up is A and down is E flat. This is a G sharp on the bass clef, so up a sixth would be E sharp, and G sharp is the sixth of B. This is a E on the alto clef, so E up a sixth would be C sharp, and down a sixth would be G. I hope you've enjoyed this exercise. I found it very useful. It's definitely sharpening my skills when it comes to being able to write out lines for saxophone, or if I'm looking at an orchestral score and being able to transpose clarinets or other instruments that may be transposed instruments, but also it's really helping me being able to harmonize lines in the moment. If I'm sitting at the piano or guitar and I have a riff, I want to think about how I might want to harmonize it. It allows me to jump right in and do that a lot faster. I don't have to run the math as much because I have it right at the forefront of my mind. So again, start out with sixth or any of them. You don't have to start I started with sixths as an example, but you can start with seconds, thirds, sixths, fourths. It's up to you, but stick with each one for a week or a couple of weeks before you move on to the next exercise. It's one of the reasons I make a lot of these videos short, because I want you to think that these are individual exercises that can take up a fair amount of time to get them down right. I think sometimes when videos are too long, it makes you feel like there's so much that you have to put in one basket at one time, and that doesn't always lead to the most successful results. Limiting your the amount of information that you're working on at any given time, making sure that your basket's not overflowing, is important. So that's why these videos are short, and they contain often a more focused idea on it. So help your learning process and keep your frustration level to a minimum and your progress level to the highest. If you're digging these videos, please hit the subscribe button. I'm releasing a lot more videos. I do them pretty regularly and share a lot more short videos with focused tips in them. I also offer guitar lessons over Zoom and can help expand on a lot of these ideas. I specialize a lot with intermediate to advanced guitar players that feel like they've hit a wall or they're stuck and keep repeating themselves. So reach out to me at anatomyofguitartone.com. I'm always available to talk, answer questions, take suggestions. I hope you're having a great week.